We move on to our reporter Katlego Legodi, who is live. He's observing the story about workers at Makro, now affiliated to South African Commercial Catering and Allied Workers Union, SACCAWU. Today, they've embarked on a march to the US Embassy in Pretoria. The union has taken an issue with the dismissal of 600 Makro workers by the employer for downing tools in a protected strike action over wages as well as their working conditions at large. Makro's holding company Walmart originates from the US. Workers have targeted the American embassy for interventions. So on that note, economics reporter Katlego Legodi is standing by. Is at the march. Katlego, a very good afternoon to you. Makro workers expected to intensify their strike action today. What's happening on your end?
Most definitely, a very good afternoon to you, Lizzle, and to our viewers at home. We're coming to you live from outside the US Embassy right here in Pretoria. This is the ending point of that march from SACCAWU members. They are, of course, an affiliate to COSATU. We saw them united, marching the streets of Pretoria today from the union buildings to try to submit a memorandum of demand here at the US Embassy. I must say the workers are not happy. The streets were covered in yellow. Most of them just around in their hundreds, just embarking on this process here, calling for change around what has been happening at Masmat. We are talking now, Lizzle, at around 600 of the workers that have been dismissed for embarking on demonstrations against the employer. And we are told here that there are about 300 of those workers that have been served now, adding to the 600 notices of an intention by the employer to also dismiss them. So COSATU are not taking kind to what has been happening here, working alongside SACCAWU in terms of ensuring that the American embassy takes their message to Walmart to say that it's not right what is happening here in South Africa, especially around the issues of the labor laws and the losses of jobs that the workers at this point in time cannot afford. I'm going to bring in the conversation now Mr. Makro, who joins us as the SACCAWU second deputy president, who is a part of those contingent cohort that moved into the embassy here to submit a memorandum of demand amid a high police presence here that showed a little bit of resistance. Sir, thank you very much for joining us here on the SABC. We know and we've seen that at least that memorandum of demand has been submitted, but it was through a resistance from the powers that be and officials from the embassy and Walmart not agreeing to come outside here to meet the workers and sign and accept that memorandum of demand. Just fill us in on what happened here this afternoon.
Good afternoon and thank you for having us. I want to say that it was very difficult. We have spent most of 1 and 2 hours approximately just for the representative of the American embassy to come out and accept the memorandum. It was to and fro. The police will go and negotiate and come back to us. But finally we want to say finally they came to their senses. They accepted the memorandum. Initially they didn't want to sign, and we said we are not getting out the 2 delegates which were sent there if they don't sign. They had to consult, but finally they signed the memorandum, of which was a blessing in disguise. They didn't accept the memorandum and sign chaos. But finally is that we appreciate that our members, the Federation and the CC members of the Federation and other affiliates of COSATU came out in numbers to cause. We want to say this is not the end of the road. We are going to be sitting back and waiting for their response. If there is no response, like the General Secretary of COSATU has indicated, we'll mobilize more the civil society and intensify our strike until such our demands are met.
And what has been the reasoning behind them not wanting to come outside here to meet the workers and accept that memorandum of demands, knowing very well that today was a day that they were notified that the workers would be marching through the streets of Pretoria to try and submit that memorandum of demands this afternoon? What were the reasoning given by the embassy and Walmart?
What is interesting is that as they receive a notice, they responded that they acknowledge and confirm that they'll be coming to receive the memorandum. Reason, they told no, there was no reason, not at all. Even when we were inside, I asked what is the reason. They told us that they just not allowed to come out. but finally they would receive the memorandum. But coming out, there was no reason at all. And we know, we suspected, because America, we might think that they had some security reasons, which is just an assumption, but the reason was never divulged to us up until now. They just memorandum in presence of the police, and it was only the two of us who went outside, but we have close to about 20 police which went inside with us.
Mr. Makro, thank you very much, sir, for your time coming through as the second deputy president of SACCAWU. Just talking about the fact that at least they've received joy in terms of them submitting that memorandum of demands after a sort of resistance from the powers that be here at the embassy and the police. So that memorandum of demands is expected that the employer, Walmart, and of course the embassy here would furnish them with some sort of a response in 48 hours, a failure to which they're going to be intensifying the strike action here, Liesl. What we've heard also this afternoon from those that have gathered here is that they're going to be engaging with President Cyril Ramaphosa. Also this week they are roping in the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, Ibrahim Patel, to try and resolve this impasse here. Of course, this is a matter as well that is before the CCMA, and they're saying that even there at the CCMA they're not getting any joy from the employer that is not a party to just negotiating and sitting down to resolve this impasse. So it remains to be seen after a couple of days and those negotiations if indeed those about 600 workers would be reinstated there at Makro. Liesl?